Welcome back to the very last session of Get Into Games 2022. I am your host, Kahu. This is Zeno J. We actually do have a 4 p.m. wrap up session tonight for the adults, but in terms of us, this is our last session.
She's saying that because production jumped in our air right there to remind us that it's not the final session of the day, but it is the final session for us for Get Into Games Aotearoa 2022, aka hashtag Giga 2022. And production is telling us there's also, hang on, they've changed it on us apparently. There's a whole other block, so we've had an amazing timesheet in front of us that's told us the layout for the week. But apparently there's a 2 p.m. session. So yeah, Kahu, that was still a great introduction. Thank you very much.
This is our last session.
This is our last session. Unless we're suddenly in that 2 p.m. session. Wouldn't that be a surprise? Yeah, so we're apparently not. But thank you everyone for joining us once again for Giga 2022. What are we doing this time around for this final block for us, Kahu?
So we are looking at the future of tech, and we have two guests with us today from our sponsors, Code Avengers, and they're going to talk about their work and what the future might possibly hold. So can I please welcome Jordan and Matt to stream? Hello.
Hi everyone.
And we're going to be playing Mythos, by the way. You guys finally get to see your Mythos party.
I just want to say Jordan is on a beach. That's just marvelous. Yeah.
I'm joining in from Gisborne, Tairāwhiti.
Oh wow!
To represent the the region.
Yeah, good on you. Choice. That looks awesome. Now, of course, for chat, you guys have been waiting. Thank you so much. We are finally jumping back into Mythos Party, where Kahu will get very competitive once more. I'm going to go through our names. So we have Kahu as KFC Man. Oh, actually, HFC Man. Unless KFC, if you guys, give us a call. We've got Pumpkin Man. We've got wow, that's just very obviously Zeus. And then Deutz. I love that. That's a great name. And then a Dunny Boy, who just very much looks like somebody out of a Guy Ritchie film.
He looks like Brom from League of Legends.
Yeah.
Actually.
Oh yeah, might be.
Hey, he's just excited to be here. That's all.
So we're going ready up. We're throwing straight into it because we're going to throw to you guys and say, let's start with Jordan. If you can just let us know who you are and what you do before handing over to you, Matt.
Sure. So yeah, I'm Jordan. Obviously, I work at Code Avengers. And my role at Code Avengers is working with our international distributors. And so I spend a lot of time networking and talking with people all around the world that are interested in learning to code.
That is amazing. And Matt, as for yourself, who are you?
I don't know if I can focus to do this. You guys keep smashing me, man.
We've had all week to prepare.
I've already been knocked off twice. This is awesome. So I'm also with Code Avengers. Very excited to be here, guys. I'm over all things customer facing. So, and as you can tell, I struggle with multitasking. So I'm trying to hit you guys off. But no, so I've been with Code Avengers for 5 years. Absolutely love it. Very excited about where we're headed next and some of the things on our roadmap. And so just excited to be here, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, as you guys can see, Kahu's activated her Paragon mode. We love that so early in this, and thank you whoever managed to eliminate them.
Myself, I throw myself off.
So for Code Avengers, what has been your journey with that so far to end up with Code Avengers? Starting with you, Jordan.
The journey so far, I guess I'm very fortunate. At Code Avengers, one of the other roles that I'm in is working with localization. So that's translating, our content into other languages. And one of the, I guess, key benefits of understanding, basic HTML is being able to easily translate, websites, web pages, and web apps. And so that's one of the areas that I'm constantly working in with different translators all around the world. So having a knowledge of programming has helped me greatly be able to understand it and provide that service not just to Code Avengers but to other companies as well.
Nice. And you, Matt?
Zeno, say the question for me one more time.
So, what has been your journey with Code Avengers to end up with them?
So, how did I end up here? My journey joining them.
Yes.
So briefly, for my journey coming here, as you can tell by my accent, team, I'm from New Zealand born, but was raised in the States, and I have a lovely wife and kids, and we wanted to get back to New Zealand because we love this country so much. And when I came down here, I had the opportunity to meet, like right when I moved back home, I met with the investor and this. You guys have met with him, Hamish, who's our CEO and part of the strategy team, and had some discussions on where we want to take Code Avengers and some of the things that we felt were just some interesting things that we felt we could really have a big impact for the learn. Jeez, I'm struggling with this guy. I'm just let my guy sit there. And so about 4.5 years ago, I was very fortunate to be able to join the team, and so my main focus is business strategy, where we go, what we're like, where do we put our efforts in, things of that nature. Right now, one thing I'm very, very excited about is we're like Jordan works closely with me on the partner program, but we're also looking to get our internal team and branch out to the United States.
Yeah.
So huge opportunity there. We've already done wonderful things here in New Zealand and with some of the high schools here in New Zealand. And yeah, sorry. I almost got someone off. Yes.
That's
important in answering your question. I had to get someone off.
Would you guys please be able to briefly explain exactly what Code Avengers is? We'll start with you, Jordan. Thank you.
So Code Avengers is an online platform that is designed to teach you the basics of not just programming, but also how the internet works, how the World Wide Web works, and we'll give you a foundational understanding, of how these technologies, that we use on an everyday basis, how they work, and how you can utilize them to create anything you want, really, whether it be a game, an app. Video editing, Code Avengers is there to help you get those skills.
That is awesome. Do you have anything to add to that there, Matt?
Yeah, I will. This is one part, guys, I'm really passionate about, and so I will pause this. So one of the biggest focuses for Code Avengers, and this is why we love what you got your whole program is doing, is what we call either bridging that divide or helping young learners, or regardless of age, but young individuals become creators and not just consumers of tech. And we believe the gaming industry is a huge place to play in that space. And so and Code Avengers content definitely lays the groundwork for those that are interested to do so. So
but you guys do more than just gaming, right? It's
I
web
know.
development, app development, is that right?
Yep. Oh.
We're all concentrating. I did notice I saw in the chat that they were talking about the what the FC stands for with Kahu's character, because it has an HFC on their case, but that stands for Hades Fried Chicken. But somebody in the chat funnily said that KFC actually stands for Kahu's Fried Chicken. So,
Kahu Fried Chicken.
it is Kahu Fried Chicken. So I found that quite entertaining. Now with Code Avengers, of course, kids can look up online, but where else can they check to get involved with Code Avengers? Oh, sheesh. That's either either of you can take the question.
Yeah, I want to roll. I'm not like 4 people off. I don't want to.
Yeah, if you want to learn more about Code Avengers, just codeavengers.com. That's the easiest way. You can sign up for free, and you can start exploring all the courses that we have.
Now, why do you guys think that it's actually important that kids learn how to have these computer skills and digital skills? We'll start with you, Jordan.
I think these digital skills are not kind of just a nice to have thing. It's something that that is used not just to become a programmer or game developer, but it's used across all different fields. And kind of like the example I was using before, working with localization and translation. I know there's a lot of students that speak a second language fluently. And being able to understand how websites work and the HTML code behind it, you can easily get a job, offering your services as a freelance translator, with websites being one of the most common things that are translated. So just having even a basic knowledge can go a really long way in lots of disciplines, not just programming and game development.
That's really cool. I saw somebody in chat saying, what can they actually learn with Code Avengers?
So
Uh,
I saw you
so-
guys have different courses for different levels as well.
Yes, of course. So we start off with the absolute basics. So if you have no experience, creating websites or anything, it starts from zero. So you'll learn the very most basic concepts, and as you go up through the different levels, you'll learn and build on top of what you've already built before. So it is a learn by doing atmosphere. It's not just watching videos and answering multiple choice questions. You'll actually be required to write code. But as we'll be holding your hand all along the way, and you'll be able to build really cool things. Different apps and websites and games that you'll be able to share with your friends.
Cool. And what's the age limit to take part in your guys' program?
Ooh.
I guess I'll answer this one too.
I think Matt's just playing.
That's busy winning, eliminating everyone. There is no age limit. So we have courses starting all the way from 5 years old, so year one, all the way up to tertiary level. So no matter what your age or what your experience, there's a place for you to start. If you want to get into what we call our pro courses, or where you'll actually be writing code, that starts off at around 12 years old, or if you're kind of year 7, 8, 9. Perfect age to start and start learning the basics.
I felt like Kahu was just starting to throw in a load of questions there to try to throw you guys off. To try to get that advantage.
And that's why I don't answer.
Yeah, but look at that. She's just farming kills right now. 19 knocks.
Exactly.
Far out. Jeez. She has been farming Danny Boy by the looks of it. So Danny Boy, stay away from HFC. So
I mean, the gigantic chicken drumstick is just overpowered.
just farming right there, farming right there. So with Code Avengers, do you guys have any stories there that you've in terms of positive feedback from kids that they got something out of their work with,
really good, Jordan,
Code
by the way.
Avengers?
I've done that on accident, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
You pulled me off the cliff with you.
So yeah, have you guys got any stories there of kids who have found the success thanks to Code Avengers?
I don't know any individual, Jordan. You may. There's one case study out of Australia that we're really proud of. It was a school up in northern Queensland that was struggling to get some of the girls to get interested, because that's one area that some of the students in tech, like usually it's more predominantly men in tech that you see, and they're struggling to have some of their female students get engaged and some of the Aboriginal girls get engaged. And they took it upon themselves to implement Code Avengers. We had some really good interactions with the teachers doing professional development to get them up and running and get them skilled so they knew what they were doing with it in the classroom. And they saw a really huge increase in learning and engagement, and not just with digital technologies, which is exciting. And they saw like upwards of like 15 to 20% increase in the results there, but they saw an impact in other areas as well because of the critical thinking and the way that they approached that learning. It had a positive impact in math and sciences as well, which is one thing that we really love. So that's one case study we're really proud of.
That was just an insane round of applause. And we did really well to all concentrate, I feel.
It's Hahu.
Look at that. Just rubbing it in.
What I'm saying is we can restart because we still do have a bit of time to actually play. 22 knocks. Get out of here.
Wow.
Get out of She was far too competitive. Actually, let's have a quick look at the KFC chat. We do actually have a quick question here. Sorry. Could you please ask if there are any tutorials on the Code Avengers websites?
Jordan, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. Might need a little bit more information about what they might be asking in regards to tutorials.
I think they just want to know, is it a good place for somebody to start just by going to the Code Avengers websites or using any resources you guys supply to get started in that world of coding?
Yeah, so we have introduction courses, which would probably be the easiest way to start. So they're designed to be kind of done within, an hour or two. So it keeps a lot more condensed and focused on the primary points.
Mm.
I'd say if you're interested in a specific programming language or a topic, I highly recommend the introduction to see if it's something that you'd be interested in.
Mm.
That's a good way to get a kind of a taster. So when you get into Code Avengers, there's some filters in the course library, and if you just click on that introduction filter, it'll only show those courses.
Nice. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out there, Twitch chat. I would just ask you to find gentlemen if you can rejoin us in the lobby. It was the same lobby code as before. What else have we got going on in the chat? Hahu has no chill. Yeah, I've been saying it all week that she is very competitive in this game for some reason. Yeah, probably in every game. Let's be honest.
Zeno, which one are you? Are you the Zeus or are you the pumpkin?
I'm Pumpkin Man. I'm the Pumpkin Man.
Pumpkin Man.
Actually, I was going to ask you, Kahu, what was the highest you rank you got in Overwatch? That'll
Oh
show
no,
us how hard you
ask
went.
me about League of Legends, don't ask me about Overwatch.
Wait, you
League of
got
Legends,
Diamond
you say?
Day?
I actually got to Plat 2 until my promos were
that's
Plat
pretty
1.
good.
Oh, wow, nice.
Okay.
But it was very time consuming. It was very emotional. Like it was an emotional roller coaster. So yeah,
Yeah.
League of Legends has no chill.
Right.
I actually do have a question for our gentleman. Sorry, our guest gentleman. You're also a gentleman, Zeno.
Am
Do
I?
you guys play games yourselves?
Ooh.
Matt, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go
Because
first?
I'm the older one, you can tell I'm like a kid in a candy store now that I'm playing. I have 6 lovely kids. I used to heavily game when I was a younger kid. I don't really anymore. That's why I'm just chomping at the bit to play with you guys now. But so I do love it. I think there's a space for it. But no, not so much anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. And what about yourself, there, Jordan?
Yeah, growing up, I played Halo and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of Xbox games. Then later on into PC, played a lot of Command and Conquer, and kind of more recently into more casual games. Teamfight Tactics. I've actually started getting into that.
EFT, very nice.
EFT, yeah. But yeah, I've always liked playing games. Me and my brothers often, will play together. So it's definitely a great way to keep in touch between family members as we live across different parts of the world.
See what like what I said, there was a person in the chat who would be excited about hearing about Command and Conquer. Now, was it any particular Command and Conquer you played, or any favorite from that series?
No, the original Command and Conquer. I was only a kid when it came out, so that was my first experience with it. Otherwise, Red Alert 1, Red Alert 2, and all the way up to Command and Conquer Generals. Those are the ones that I played a lot as a teenager.
Nice, very nice. Now, I will do the classic question that we started bringing up, which was, what is your favorite game? And when I say of all time, it tends to freak people out for some reason. But just what is your favorite game? Starting with you, Matt.
That's a good one. So I'll share this. What got me, because Dota 2 and Dota 1, like the old Ice Frog Dotas, is probably where I put the most amount of time.
Yeah.
But I'll say my favorite game, and this is going to date me, and you guys probably won't even know it. It was my first introduction to like fantasy, strategy, war type of games, and it was called War Song for the Sega Genesis.
Wow.
And it was an incredible game where there's like a role playing element to it where your guys could level up and you're like commanding armies and all sorts of crazy stuff. And back in the day, so I would have been like 5th grade that came out, and that was an incredible game to have back then. So that game really got me into gaming. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. And yourself there, Jordan?
Man, this is a tough one. I think one of the maybe it's not a particular game. Well, I will mention a game, but the Warcraft Blizzard, man, the Warcraft 3, had the original Dota mod and stuff like that. I remember going to the internet cafe with my friends after school and stuff like that, and we'd play those Warcraft 3 and Dota for so long. That eventually got us into World of Warcraft. So I don't play it anymore, but I have some very fond memories playing with my friends after school.
That's the classic Warcraft path, isn't it? You start at one end and then you end up stuck in World of Warcraft. As for myself, I have said throughout the stream of Giga 2022 that Final Fantasy VII is probably my all-time game, and I'm very happy to hear about the news today from the Games Fest that Rebirth is confirmed, which is part 2 of the Final Fantasy VII remake. Crisis Core is coming back. And apparently there's a third part for Final Fantasy VII Remake, so that's really fascinating. What about you, Kahu? You said you were still unsure. It was somewhere between like Hearthstone, League of Legends,
Mythos Legends.
Mythos Party? You can't even name the game. Come on.
This game, Chicken Man. In this game, I've got emotional attachment to Chicken Man.
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys, would you please be able to tell us your individual roles within Code Avengers?
Yeah, I'll jump in. I'm over anything customer facing, so I'm business strategy. I
Nice.
work very closely with Hamish. I always joke, the beauty of a small scaling up company is you can make up any fancy title you want. So we have fancy titles, but ultimately we're all in it together. And I like anything that's sales, marketing, customer success. That's all part of my team. So I was pretty fortunate to work real closely with Jordan because he used to be head of partners for us before he moved him. So, yep.
Cool. And Jordan, what's your fancy title sounding title then?
So yeah, my fancy title is head of partners. But essentially, yeah, I work with everyone who isn't in the English-speaking world. So we have a lot of different partners across Asia, Latin America, especially. I'm fortunate enough to speak a second language. I'm Spanish. So I work with a lot of partners, all the way from Mexico down to Chile. That's one of my roles at the moment, and I'm transitioning into another role that will focus on Web3. So we're looking at creating content and courses on blockchain and Web3 technologies in the near future. But I can't give anything away yet. But we're definitely working on some exciting stuff.
Yeah, we only heard a brief mention of Web3 earlier in the week, so it's interesting to hear you guys being a part of that, a very quickly growing space of, almost the Internet of Things in a way. Kahu is going far too hard once again. She cannot be stopped. She has gone Paragon mode.
She is farming me big time.
So see, she finds a target, just tries to stick to it. So
it's the Mohawk, man. I don't blame her.
I accidentally threw myself off the edge. Now, as we wrap up this final part for Giga 22, in fact, what would you want to see our rangatahi, our kids doing to start possibly moving towards that coding space that you guys inhabit along with the Internet of Things? Where should our kids start?
I would say, Jordan, you can probably feel this in better than me. For me, you guys, and Jordan touched on this earlier, there is, and a lot of kids maybe not be thinking about this right now, but there's a monstrous gap, you guys, in the job market. There's so much opportunity out there. It is insane. And that every year is growing. There's a demand for cloud architects, for full stack developers, front and back developers, game developers, web developers. And so please, if you love gaming, you love anything to do with tech, just try a course. There's so many different other ones. Like Jordan was talking about, just get in there and try like beginners to Python, beginning to web development. See what interests, like piques your interest, and run with it. Because you obviously, to do something like this, you got to love it, and you got to go beyond just the playing of the games, the consuming of the games. You want to hopefully have a desire to be a creator. But I'm telling you guys, there's such a demand in this space for talented individuals that are creative and want to get in there and learn how to code and learn how to just be in this world. So
that's awesome. That's a really great way of breaking that down. And as for yourself, Jordan, your final thoughts around that same question?
Yeah, I think if you're interested in games, tech, there's a lot you can do. It's not just being a programmer. There's, like Matt mentioned, there's a whole range of things that require a knowledge of tech in order to do. And I mean, there comes with some really cool bonuses. I mean, just an example for myself. I'm working for a Hamilton-based company, working with people in Latin America, based in Gisborne. And
Wow.
If I didn't have, at least an understanding of technology and how it works and how it can benefit my life, I wouldn't be able to do this. So just having that understanding and knowing, what technology can do and how it can, open up doors for you, it's definitely worth the time investment.
That's really interesting because it is a skill set that you can take global, right?
Oh, very. That is. Kahu, I'll start right there. That is one of the, I think, more than any other job or any other profession, you truly can. I know friends, you guys that have gone out, they've done their hard yards, they know how to code, and they could be on the beach in Bali coding for 6 months out of the year, and then they take another 6 months off. They're in that high a demand. You create your own career in this industry. It really does. Like here's one thing I'll share with everyone. I hope that this does resonate. You look at all the wonderful tech that we have today, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever you want to interact with, right? Those were created by individuals that had private tutors and were truthfully some of the more I don't know the right verbiage here, but they were given a lot more than a lot of other people to get ahead in life. What things like Code Avengers do and what we highly encourage everyone to do is to even the playing field. Like that everyone has access to it. Like we like to compare Code Avengers to a private tutor. Like get in there, learn how to do it because there's so many creative, so many interesting young kids out there that could do so much more for us if they're just given the tools and just get in there and learn how to do it. Yeah. Like it's an incredible space, you guys. And I will say this because I've been around the block a wee bit. You see the gray and the beard. This is one profession you create your own space. You truly create your own space because they're in such high demand. So yeah. That's one thing I get the most passionate about is it really can have an impact on families and on lives. Like, yeah.
Oh, that was a really great share there. I think we can actually finish this because this is the final round for this particular
Right, so
round.
we can go hard, we can go full on.
Oh no, please, man, please.
I gotta find a game I can beat her in, man. I'm too competitive, and I'm just getting wrecked.
Yeah. Look, now she's trying to find me, but yes, good job.
We play like Civ 6 or something real slow. Maybe I can beat her.
This is so unnecessarily fast. Oh, we do have another Paragon out in play. I'll just have a quick look. Nothing
get out of there.
at the moment because they're all probably just enjoying watching this chaos that is ensuing upon our screen. I do believe I ended up in third place this time around, so I'm not too mad at that. But this has been, and of course, this is an alpha build. Remember, folks out there, from students at Media Design School, and I think they've done a fantastic job. And have found this game very entertaining to use throughout our week of Giga 2022. Of course, I do think Kahu is walking away with the win, though I hope she hasn't farmed as many kills this time around, but we shall see. Let's see what happens. I ended up back in last once again. Yeah, and Kahu has ended up in first. What's
we need to play like Civ 6 where it's with slow pace and we can beat her. I don't think she wins Civ 6.
She only got 16, so we did improve. We all got more kills that time.
There we go.
On more knocks, sorry. So that was very fun. Thank you so much to you, Jordan, and Matt, for joining us and showing us through what Code Avengers is and what that looks like for all our rangatahi out there. Remember, kids, you guys can go to getintogames.nz to find out more information around that. And again, thank you guys so much, and of course also for the sponsorship. We appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Oh gosh, what another blimmin' round of Mythos Party. That was so we do have some questions in the chat. It looks like, could I do the shoutcasting challenge for Bed Wars on Minecraft? Of course, when we said for the shoutcasting challenge, which of course there are 3 challenges out there that will be ending around the 23rd of June. And of course, the video game challenge is taking place until around the end of term 3. Yes, you can shoutcast whatever game you want. Just make sure you follow the steps that we have provided on the website on how to do that. Wolfie said, I ain't Xenoj, but I would say yes. So good guess. Well done out there. Bob's 20,000 says, salute to 2 legends. Kahu hahu.
Kahu, hahu.
And Xenoj, we appreciate all you guys joining us for this week for all of this. Cannot believe we got one more Brawl Stars in the chat. Another mention of Brawl Stars. We have.
Just before we sign off, I mean, we've asked all our guests how we can keep up with them. How can we keep up with you?
With
How
me,
can we follow you?
I'm not going to point anyone anywhere, to be honest. But actually, I
What?
just have xenoj.com. You can find most of my stuff on there. I literally have a website that
Yeah.
contains all of that, and it has links and everything.
Okay.
But it's not about us. But what about you, Kahu? Where can people find you?
It depends on what, like for Twitter, that's where I do all my gaming
Yeah,
stuff.
okay.
So if you just search Kahu Bennett. it
Why
should
not
have
just your
some-
Twitch?
I'm inconsistent with my
She's
Twitch.
an inactive Twitch streamer, folks. I'm very much the same. We do have our own channels out there, but we are very busy with a lot of different things that we do. We are very privileged to keep far too busy. We both tired out one another with stories of our lives because we were just too busy. I think our next week's are broken also. Which is, that's just good times for us. But as we wind down for Get Into Games Aotearoa 2022, aka hashtag Giga 2022, we want to thank everyone for joining us in the chat. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Sheesh, what a line to drop on us at the end there. But no, thank you so much to all of our sponsors out there who you can find on the website. And of course to our friends at Code Avengers who just joined us right now. For this final slot, as production mentioned to us and threw us off our game, there is a 2 p.m. slot. I believe it will be around Te Reo and whatnot in that class. Then there is the final session at 4 p.m., which will be the wrap-up for our teachers and adults out there. One final question. Will there be Giga 2023? Fingers crossed. Production is saying yes. I'd love to come back if it was exactly like this week. For both Kahu and myself, it was technically a working holiday, but I actually enjoyed the holiday part.
I
got
really
to
did.
do.
Like I'm actually pretty gutted that this is over.
Yeah.
So I really do hope that there's a Giga 2023. So if the feedback is positive, then perhaps
Yeah.
it would be. But yeah, this is the last time that we are signing off.
I could
now?
even bring my PS5 down next time. That'll be yeah, play all my games though. But as for myself, I have been the whole time Jordan Tinney, aka that guy XenoJ. You can find me at xenoj.com. That's you, Hahu.
I have been I've had an interchangeable name. My name is Kahu. My name is also Hahu. My name is also KFC Man. And you can just find me online. Just search Kahu Bennett. All my social medias is my Twitter and stuff.
Yep. So she is Kahu Bennett this time around, and we have been for the week Get Into Games Aotearoa 2022 for the last time from these two lovely hosts. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you see you next year. Until then, ka kite.
Ka kite.